please come forward, state your name and address for the record, and give us 3 minutes of what's on your mind tonight.
Sounds good. Your Honor, members of the council, I'm Alan Redkey, Fox Street 33, Alexandria, Inform TV. Drove by and saw you had lights on another meeting, and I continue to look in various things we could do with our municipal airport here to get some form of either charter work in here or schedule airlines. And the more I dig into it, the more I see how it can be really lucrative for our community to bring tourists in, as well as support businesses, and even look to the point where we should look at becoming a Part 139 airport, where we would have facilities that I think we could do on a very reasonable basis to have even some scheduled airlines in here. Those subsidies that certain communities are getting all over the country are very lucrative. And I've even looked into what our neighboring community, Morris, is doing. They're going to add over 1,000 feet to their airport so they can bring business jets in for their 2 main businesses in town. And at the same time, I looked at their city plan. They've got a long-range city plan for their airport of spending some $12 million, and they will never have the opportunity or the business potential that we could do here in Alexandria. But they've got this major plan, and it also shows it only costs the city, by spending $12 million, it only costs the city $1 million. So I think there's a lot of potential in it, and being I saw you had a meeting, I sent a little tape that my 2 cents worth at the last meeting to Craig Anderson, and never received a reply or anything. So I just thought, any members of council or Your Honor, did you get any reply or anything from Craig, or did he show no interest, or did you guys decide no interest, or what?
He did send a reply.
Not to me, but,
Yeah, he sent a reply because we asked the question.
okay, but he didn't send it to me. I never received anything.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So could you get him to send it to me too, or was it just
Yeah,
you?
no, you can,
What basically did he say so the community has an idea of
Marty,
what
you
Craig
want to go
Anderson's
into
saying?
that?
Yeah, I think Mr. Anderson is familiar with that 139 program that you mentioned at the last meeting. So we kind of walked through in a memo to the council, how that process works. It is, I think to summarize his view, it's a program that started after deregulation of the airlines in 1978. It's very, very difficult, I think, to be added to that program. There hasn't been a lot of places added. So he's not certain that we would be able to be added to that program. Plus, there are elements that you have to add to your airport, like TSA security, perimeter fence, additional staffing. So there would be some costs that would have to be considered as part of that work. That program may not be workable, but there are, if there are other ways to look at getting commercial service here outside of the 139 program, I mean, that's something that perhaps we could look at. But he did, I think, put together, at least it was very informative for me, because not being
nice.
well-versed in the history of that particular program, how that came about, how it works. And he certainly, I think he's got a good sense of the funding streams at the FAA and what our options are with our airport.
Okay, I don't know, is this microphone on when I talk?
Oh, there you go, right there, now it's on. Yep.
And that sounds good?
And we're at our 3 minutes
Sure,
now.
but would Craig talk on camera with me, so the rest of the community can put it in?
No, I can't direct him to do that.
Okay.
That'd be his choice.
Okay.
And
Because just like Marty said, there's a number of things involved, but I think it has real potential
Yeah.
for our city. That's why I brought it
Yep,
up.
you
So,
can ask
thanks
him.
for your time.
Yep,
I know.
all right. Any other public speaking?